everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. I'm your host, Michael Tabor. So, it's another nice day, so I'm going to continue doing these outside videos until I can't. I just bought a really nice chair from, what was it, Office Mat here. And it's downstairs. You've seen my basement, it's unfinished, whatever, but when it gets too cold to do it out here, I'm going downstairs. Okay, so getting right into this. As I've said in my last couple of videos, I am going back and listening to all the older Tim Ferriss podcasts. So, people who know me, I have OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and when I get into something, I go deep. So, I listen to 6 podcasts regularly. Okay, just to repeat myself, it's Joe Rogan, Sam Harris, Sean Carroll, the Very Bad Wizards, Eric Weinstein, who just started a couple of months ago, and then Tim Ferriss. I heard about Tim Ferriss years ago, but I just didn't have time to get into it. And just like 6 months ago, I started, and of course, I have to go back to the beginning. Tim started his podcast in late 2014, like April, May 2014. And I go from the beginning and I listen to them all. So I'm on episode 70. Well, I'll tell you. Okay, last night I listened to episode 74 with Sammy Kamkar. And then 75, I'm finishing up now with Noah Kagan, which is a nice segue into what I want to talk about. By the way, the podcast, again, those 6 podcasts, they're all great and they're awesome. Very Bad Wizards, I talk about them too. Okay, listen to them too, with Tamler Summers and Dave Pizarro. But if you want to learn and better yourself or your life without being cheesy and like, I'm okay, you're okay, none of that bullshit, but from a real smart guy, is that Tim Ferriss show, boy. I've learned so much. I'm telling you about everything. Finance, business, and I'm not a business guy, but I listened to, I've lived in 76, and I listen to them all. They're between an hour and 3 hours each podcast, and I listen to every minute of every podcast. I'm up to 76 here, and Tim has like 350 now, but I'll get to it. But anyway, oh my God, I'm just looking at a text that I got. This is from the Young Turks, something about Trump. Anyway, so, I mean, everything about working out, about diet, finance, great writing, the whole thing. Tim's thing is deconstructing excellence in all walks of life, celebrity types, investment, billionaire tycoons like Peter Thiel, the whole thing. So, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Tim's an awesome guy. He's just terrific. So, anyway, these 2 guys, if you don't know them, Noah Kagan, he's a young guy, he's in his early 30s, but he is probably used to work at Facebook, and at Mint.com, he has his own company now, but he was the *1 hacker. He got screwed. Listen to it. Facebook, he fucking hacked. Facebook, he shut it down. It's the story's great. I won't talk about it. I recommend that you go back to it, but I do want to talk about what Sammy Kamkar said, and then Noah Kagan. Noah Kagan's like this. What is it? He's I'm sorry. Noah Kagan said Facebook. Sammy Kamkar. That doesn't matter. But Noah Kagan's this big mover and shaker too. Another young man, like 35 years old, and he's just like worth hundreds of millions of dollars. These young smart guys are running the fucking world. But anyway, Noah Kagan says, you know how you're growing up and you're like, oh, you have to follow the rules. These are the rules, and to be a solid citizen, you have to fall in line. And Noah Kagan says, fuck that. He goes, I tell, like, my kids, like, think different. Think different. Now, not different like go rob a bank or do something, break the law, but you gotta think out of the box. If you're going to be successful, you have to think, actual proper grammar is think differently, but just for the sake of Apple's logo, think different. You have to stand out. So, okay, so let me get right into this. How do you think different? This is for every area of life. Is it's business, sales, you have to be fucking different. When I was in sales, I was a recruiter and I did sales, all that. But everyone said, you're nice, you're polished, you're informed, all that's good. But man, you gotta fucking stand out. Don't fall into that thing. They're just gonna pass you up, right? Every sales, like you could be perfect, but man, you hear it all day, every day. You want somebody who maybe is a little weird or kooky, like what the fuck? What's this? So, and it's full, and also with dating. Okay, so let me get into the little story that Sammy. This is so funny. Sammy Kamkar. So he's a young guy. He's in his 20s, and he's a single guy, and he goes, "Oh, I want to go on. I want to date. I'm heterosexual. I want girls. Who doesn't, right?" So he goes on iCupid, and he puts up these pictures. He has a profile and all this, and then he put up a bunch of pictures of himself where like he's really good looking. He thinks, and he has all this stuff, and he thinks he's clever, and he's sending out messages and DMs and all this, and nothing, like zero. It's like, what the hell? Like nobody's responding to me. I'm like striking out. He goes, look at how handsome, and I have a nice smile, and nobody's interested. And then he's like, okay, he's smart. Okay, he goes, let me just look at this like a business, like the way I run my business. Okay, let's look at the data and see how I can improve my standing here on this dating site. So he put up 3 pictures. One were the good ones, he thought, medium, and then shitty ones. And surprisingly, the medium ones got better. And then the one that got the most was him with his cat on his shoulder. He's like, oh, okay. You see how how he is? See how strategic he is about this? That's the way his mind works. So he goes, oh, a cat. Girls that's like chick crack. They like that you're sensitive. Like not too sensitive, but you like cats. So the cat on the shoulder, and they don't want you too good looking, right? Okay. And then he starts setting up a profile. And here's where he gets really tricky. He says, no, I don't want to be sneaky here, but I set up a profile as a girl. He goes, someone I would like to date. So a very attractive woman who's smart and educated, refined, like a perfect woman, like every girl that every guy would like to date. Like some guys just like sleazy, but like a nice college educated, highly refined, super hot looking, super nice body, a nice girl, but not too fucking, not like a fucking porno star. You know what I mean? Like nice. And he goes, you wouldn't believe, I set up the account, I got hundreds of responses from guys like, hey, how are you? And here's the thing, they're all the same. They're all the freaking same. Like, hey, how are you? This and that. And they're boring. You can't read them. These girls don't even read it. What did he do? Be different. All right. So he took that, and first of all, in his title, he'd say, this is what would get their attention. Now, this is really sneaky, but it got their attention. He would say, fuck you, right in the title. And then they were like, whoa. And then he would say, oh, I'm just kidding. All these guys I could imagine that you get. And he would repeat what 99% of the guys would say, like, hi, how are you doing? You're very attractive. You're this and that. All the same buzzwords. And he would say, isn't that annoying? This and that. He was very clever about it, right? So there you go. My point is think different. So you hear Kamkar in this dating thing, and he stood out because he thought different. Now, he's very sneaky about it, but okay. I'll end it there. I'm almost 9.5 minutes. Isn't that great? And by the way, listen to Tim Ferriss. He is fucking awesome, man. I love that guy. He's such a nice guy. When I listen to him, he's like my best friend. It's like I'd love to just hang out with this guy, like and like he's like a guy, like I fucking love him, man. I literally just like love him. Like a fucking brother, All right. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. And by the way, that's why Tim is so successful too. Not only is he brilliant, has an amazing education from Princeton, and he's a writer and he speaks perfectly, is that he's a nice guy. Like you really want him to win. Okay, that's so important, being a nice guy. Okay, peace, love, and understanding here on Tabor Talk.